Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
I thought you were a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stone, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth. A myth walks among us. The Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, it's what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship is in sync. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my round. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming. It's okay, Jonathan. I'll see you later. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
You can do better than that. Now, it's my turn.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insult me again and I'll put an end to your misery right now.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fuck me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about this?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tittins. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No, I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Je peux pas te charmer, toi?
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Ah non.
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Je te tuerai tout à l'heure.
Hurry now, Doctor. It's freezing here. Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The mean...
Thank you, nurse. What can I do?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office.
Thank you. Nurse Crane?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office is being prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we...
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
If you could point me in...
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only...
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes.
Dr. Tippett, yes,
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please,
This hospital is not exactly the best.
it's more than enough.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are...
Tell me more about Cherished.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
It is now or never.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a...
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Salut.
Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the...
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped from the hospital's garden. but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr.
I don't know what you've heard.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
I don't see any reason why I should...
That's true, Dr. Reed. The only judge has to be yourself. The question is, are you judging yourself hard enough?
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to...
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Will this shift never end, as for me?
Good evening, Doctor.
I believe what Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you.
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza...
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to...
So you believe it's just...
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
What can you tell me about the...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain, true?
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Always be the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy.
I was more curious about...
I'm a carpenter. And a good one, too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Will this shit...
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped.
I'd rather not talk about it. For now,
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me. But I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Aykroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke.
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me more...
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Who are you, really?
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know...
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see.
Never?
It's a mental illness.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient.
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here...
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women
Ok, allez, dépêche-toi.
for I am a vampire.
I see.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Ok. Yes.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Have you made friends?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived with the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her?
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your...
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel... empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place, and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Dukes Digby.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. It's locked, all right. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. John...
Well, it's a euphemism that you'll help...
How would you describe the situation?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, this...
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How would you describe this?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How would you describe this?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Yes, je l'ai eu.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
Yes.
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Je dis qu'il va falloir que je les tue tous pour les armes légendaires. C'est chiant, c'est comme ça.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Il va falloir les tuer.
It's locked.
Tous. Même. Hop, on va aller à la chambre. Là, je vais visiter tout. Hop. Ah, il y a un mec. On va faire directement ça. Il est dehors. D'accord. Là, il y a un mec dehors. Déjà à sauver. On va aller le voir avant d'aller dans la chambre. Ça fera des quêtes. Je crois qu'il est par là. Cours. Il veut plus courir pour l'instant, il veut pas courir. On n'a pas les compétences. Il est là-bas.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
C'est sûr. J'ai même pas le pouvoir encore, ils font les malins. Ok. On va revenir. On va les déboîter. Ah, pour l'instant, il faut les malins. Après, ils vont pas faire les malins. Après. C'est que le début de l'histoire. Ça commence à peine. Allez, le jeu, on se dépêche. Pas que ça à faire. Ah oui, niveau 3, tu m'étonnes. Pas trop faire le malin pour l'instant. On va y aller tranquille. Le portefeuille perdu dans le jardin. J'avais pas fait cette quête. Première lettre. Ah, il faut que je me repose et tout dans l'histoire. Alors, c'est là. Les objets trouvés. Ah voilà les quêtes, d'accord. Il faut tout ça et les armes. Voilà les armes. Le sein j'ai que ça. Mais il faudra tout ça. Ok. Donc, voilà. Et ah oui, aller au craftage. Ok, donc on va sauver lui là-bas. Déjà. Une petite quête. Ça on l'a vu. Ça c'est la chambre qui est là-haut, d'accord. Donc je vais sauver lui. Je m'éloigne. Ah oui, c'est une autre partie de l'hôpital. Il faut le regarder, voilà. Hop. Une petite poubelle. Ah, je l'ai fouillé déjà. Ok. Ah, il est derrière l'hôpital. Oh. Putain, c'est pas possible, tu vas crever. Hein. Oh. Tu vas bouffer. J'ai du niveau, vous allez voir. Toi aussi, tu vas crever. Oh. Mais il est sérieux le machin. Il était tout pourri, mais non. C'est pas possible. Je vais prendre le flingue, je vais prendre le machin. Ouh là là. C'est en train de me tuer mes points là, que j'ai à peine fait déjà là. Pas déconner quand même. Putain, attends, je vais regarder. Ah oui, il faut que j'aille dormir et tout, c'est pour ça. Je vais y aller quand même. Je veux déjà les tuer moi. Oui, il faut que j'aille dormir pour les compétences. Ah oui, c'est pour ça. Putain. Ah oui, faut qu'ils progressent. C'est pour ça qu'ils me disaient d'aller dormir. Ok. J'oublie que je suis au niveau 3 moi. Je me crois au niveau 50. Je crois que je vais arriver un coup, il est mort. Mais non, ça marche pas comme ça, c'est vrai. Putain. Allez, le jeu là. Putain, qu'est-ce qu'il est long à charger ce jeu. Hop là. D'accord, oui, il faut que j'aille au lit. Là, c'est vrai. Voilà. Donc on va aller le tuer après. Parce que là, sinon, je suis un peu dans la merde. Ok. Donc on va retourner à la chambre, on va se perfectionner un peu. C'est mieux. Parce que là, il me défonce. Remarque que mes armes, attends. Oh. Ah, j'ai ça. Ah, voilà. Ah, je me rappelle plus de l'inventaire. Ah, voilà. Voilà. Ah, vous voulez jouer maintenant? Attends, on va voir. Voilà. Ah, voilà. Ah, voilà. 99 de dégâts déjà, mais... Et la hache 72. Endurance. Ah, ça va. Ok. Allez, voilà. Allez, voilà. Je me rappelle plus. Voilà. Ah, ben voilà. Ah, merde. J'ai pas de balle. Oh, j'ai plus de balle. Ah, d'accord. Ok. Et le sérum, j'en ai pas encore. Faut le fabriquer. C'est vrai. Hop. Hop. Voilà. Et fabriquer les balles, il faut aller là-bas. À l'atelier, j'ai du machin. Ok. Il faut aller à l'atelier. Bon, et là maintenant, vas-y. Ah, venez. Ils sont où? Ah, je suis là-bas. Ok. Ouais, c'est vrai, ils faisaient les malins. Attends, je vais aller les voir. Histoire de leur dire bonjour quand même. Parce que là, ils m'ont défoncé. Et ça me plaît pas trop. Ouais, j'ai vu. Ok. Alors. Je vois des traces de sang qui sont là. Oh, un petit quartier découvert. Allez, c'est parti. Donc l'autre con, il est où? Ah. Salut toi. Allez, viens voir maintenant. Je prends pas? Putain, il prend rien. C'est juste ce qu'il prend. Oh voilà, c'est chaud. Prenne rien. Laisse-moi partir. Laisse-moi me rétablir. Il a un gâteau aussi. Ah, ça y est. Non, mais non. Bon, je vais revenir les petits. Ah, vous faites encore les dégâts. Attends, on va changer d'arme. On va aller à l'atelier, je vais aller dormir. Tant pis. Ils sont trop forts pour moi. « 99 de dégâts et ça les tue pas, je comprends pas. 99 de dégâts, ça les tue pas. Attends. C'est une arme que j'ai tué quelqu'un? Non. Ok. On va aller chercher, on va aller faire ce qu'il faut dès le début. Et voilà. Fait chier. Voilà, en gros, fait chier quoi. Allez là, dépêche-toi, putain, je sais pas que ça va faire. La batte là, je peux plus la sortir cette batte. Il faut que j'aille au lit en fait. Il faut que j'aille au lit pour m'établir. Ouais. Parce que, ah oui, le sang, voilà. Santé, ça va, endurance, ça va. Mais le sang, je l'ai pas. Ok. Bon, on va pas jouer les dingues pour l'instant. Ça marche pas. Donc, on va aller faire les missions pour gagner du level. Ah, récupérer des machins. Il n'y a pas un... c'est bon, tout à fait. Ok, bon, bah, allez, on va à la chambre direct. Ça, on l'a fait, ça.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Dormir, construire. Voilà. Le petit coffre, machin, pour pouvoir stocker les trucs, mais bon. Moi j'ai toujours tout sur moi. Voilà l'atelier. Voilà, on va faire l'atelier. Et ça c'est la plante à arroser. Mais, ah oui. Il faut l'arroser et dormir 3 jours. Voilà. Et se relever après 3 jours, sinon ça marche pas. Hop. Voilà. Et c'est ça l'atelier. Voilà. Hop. Voilà, là on y est dedans. Là. Et c'est là qu'on construit. Donc ça c'est les trucs recyclables. Voilà, pour construire. Déjà. Et voilà, et après pour améliorer les armes. Mais là on va déjà construire, analyser un sérum. Hop, pour le patient. Et c'est sérum de régénération légère. Voilà, donc c'est un médicament qu'il faut. Traitement pour la fatigue, traitement pour l'épsie et traitement pour l'épepsie. Voilà. Nous on va faire le premier. Là ça marche pas. Ok, j'ai pas assez de ressources. Ok. Et après les armes, voilà, qu'on pourra améliorer. Est-ce qu'on peut un petit peu? Ouais, j'ai un peu de machin, non? Pas encore. Ok, peut-être celle-là. On peut pas t'améliorer? Non, tu veux pas? Ah si. Non, non, non. J'ai pas assez de ressources. Okay.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation.
Allez, salut.
But this is not what happened to me.
Pour les compétences.
I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it.
Donc tout à l'heure il me défonçait.
I'll continue tomorrow night.
Donc là on va voir ce que je peux prendre pour les éclater. Parce que il m'a fait très mal. Et c'est pas normal. Ah oui, je n'ai même pas le premier truc. Je peux pas le prendre. Okay. Qu'est-ce qu'ils me disent? Ah, je peux prendre celui-là. Premier pouvoir déverrouillé. Ok. Ah, c'est vrai. Voilà. Et le cœur. Alors. Oui, c'est vrai. Non, moi, c'est la morsure que j'aime bien. Voilà. Je peux pas le déverrouiller. Ça, le premier, ça. Mais si. Non. Si. Mais si. Mais nickel. Ah, la morsure. Et. Ah, ça fait mal, ça. Ça fait super mal, ça. Ça fait mal, ça. Ah, je sais pas assez. Ah, ça aussi, il faut le faire pour les sérums. Premier sérum, les sérums. Ah, j'aurais pas assez. On essaye. Ah, si, ça marche. Yes. Ah, je dis, 250 XP, ouais, niveau 6. Ah, c'est bon. Ok. Ok. Ouais, j'ai bien... Ouais. J'ai bien rushé le jeu un petit peu. Donc, je vais pouvoir leur faire mal maintenant. Parce que là, ils me faisaient très mal, ces mecs. Là, on va moins rigoler, là. Ah. Ah, merde. Ah si, satisfaisant, c'est bon. Ok. Ben ça, après, il va falloir que... Ah non, il est mort. Ah bah oui, je l'ai tué. Ah bah oui, je l'ai tué. Ah oui.
If I'm to
Chaque
stay here
amélioration...
until my research is
Oh,
complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature
après la
from
vie d'un
mortals.
mortel, ouais, je sais. Désolé.
What about my thirst for
J'étais
blood?
obligé de le tuer, le pauvre. Le premier. Parce que j'ai besoin des armes légendaires, donc j'étais obligé de le tuer. C'est pour ça que je vais faire toutes les armes légendaires. J'étais obligé de le tuer, ce petit. Donc cette plante, ah oui, c'est vrai, arroser la
The
plante.
flower's dying. It
Ah
needs
oui,
water.
ça c'est un cocktail. Et après, il y a une plante ici, elle pousse. Elle fait jusqu'à la lampe là-haut. Elle est énorme. En 3 jours, tu te réveilles et la plante. C'est trop beau. Excellent. Ah ouais, j'ai vu un truc. Ah ouais. Essaye. Ah, je l'avais vu directement. Faut tout fouiller partout, hein, toujours. Dans ce jeu, voilà. Hop. Tout fait, voilà. Faut vraiment tout fouiller. Faut rien laisser au hasard parce que le premier truc que tu rates, tu le rates. Voilà. Et même des trucs que tu crois qu'il faut pas fouiller, faut fouiller. Voilà. Donc le premier truc c'est bon, ça a été vraiment looté. Hop, on s'en fout de ça. Hop, c'est bon. Allez, c'est parti. Ah, il y a la chef qui m'attend. Ah, voilà, c'est bon. Qu'est-ce que tu veux, toi?
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux?
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Tu veux pas me laisser aller jouer, là? Non? Ah non. T'as de quoi me dire. Alors... Ouais.
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor.
Ouais, tu gères mal l'hôpital.
With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain houses...
The storeroom. Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first.
Where
is this?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance.
Oui, allez, dis-moi tout. Je vais aller la voir ta Dorothy. Je veux essayer. Ah, elle m'a donné une clé de la morgue. Oh, qu'elle est gentille. Oh, qu'elle est gentille. Merci. N'oublie pas que je vais te tuer, toi aussi. N'oublie pas. Salut. Salut, la vieille. Je vais te tuer, n'oublie pas, hein, tu peux courir. Hein. Bon, je vais te rattraper, t'inquiète. Tu peux y aller. Donc, elle m'a donné une clé. Ok. Il y en a un qui est mort, c'est Cox. Je sais plus. Donc c'est bon, j'ai rencontré un peu tout le monde. Donc lui, il va falloir que je le voir, c'est le patron. Lui, c'est le général. Elle, c'est aussi une des... Ah, il me manque lui à voir. Ah, lui, je l'ai tué, lui. Cox, ouais. Il me fallait son arme. Inconnu, galeteur du sang. Ah oui, ben c'est quand... Ah, d'accord. Ah, merde. Ça, c'est quand j'ai tué Cox, ouais. C'est les potes à Cox. Ça, c'est son frère. Mais je l'ai tué. Mais ça va, quartier satisfaisant. Donc... Ok. Essaye. Non, ça c'est ma piole.
It's locked, all right.
Donc il y avait l'autre à tuer. Ah.
It's locked, all right.
Verrouillé. Ah bon, merci. C'est cool. Génial. Sympathique. Ah. Oh. Voilà, une arme. On n'a pas oublié. Voilà. Toutes les armes du jeu. Oh, un petit document. Voilà. Boum. Voilà. qui tac. Ça commence bien. Très bien. Faut appuyer sur X partout. Faut fouiller vraiment. Même il y a des endroits qu'il faut pas fouiller, faut fouiller. Parce que sinon, tu loupes des trucs. Vérifier, ben ça je connais, il n'y a rien. Hop. Ah.
Not now.
Ah oui, c'est vrai.
Please come back later.
Ah, ta gueule.
I cannot enter.
Ok. C'est bon. C'est nickel. Alors, on continue l'objectif. Du point de la mort, vous connaissez, ouais, je vais pas y aller, je vais aller sauver lui là. Pour voir. Qu'est-ce qu'il dit lui, c'est alors,
Yes, doctor?
oui, d'accord.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
Les autres paroles, c'est pour ça que je leur reparle. Parce qu'à chaque fois, ça donne d'autres trucs.
The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
C'est vrai, j'ai bien avancé là déjà. Alors, attends.
Exactly how bad
faut
is
être
the
gentil.
supply situation
Et
here
après,
at
faut être
Pembroke?
méchant.
It really
T'es
depends.
gentil.
Dr.
Au
Swansea
début,
deftly works
t'es
his
du rien.
society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well,
Faut être méchant
we're in
et
God's
gentil.
hands.
Les deux en même temps. Voilà, tu vois, là, je peux lui
Why
poser la
then do you
question.
always work the
Voilà.
nights?
Pourquoi vous
Don't
travaillez
you ever
ces
sleep?
machines, voilà. Et là, on
At
va
the
me dire,
Pembroke,
moi,
we're
j'ai-
always hands on deck.
Voilà, toute son histoire. Ah non.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital.
Elle me
We are on the
raconte toute
front
son
line,
histoire.
make no mistake.
Ouais, vas-y. Continue. Voilà. Boum. Et pour la dernière. On peut lui demander ça, voilà.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a
Je vais la
journeyman.
voir. Putain, ils sont chiants avec la Dorothy. Tout le temps, ils me disent, donnez la Dorothy. Je vais aller la voir. Oh.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane. Thank you.
Ah.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face.
Ah,
No.
je peux pas le soigner, j'ai rien
I
pour le
don't
soigner.
think you can help me.
Il me dit, soignez-le, je peux pas.
I've recently taken the position.
You
Je peux
guessed
voir ce
right,
qu'il
Doctor.
veut.
German shells
Ça
took
donne
my
des
pretty
indices.
little mug right off. But they
Au
still
début,
call
c'est un
me
peu
Thomas
long.
Elwood.
Mais bon, c'est comme ça, c'est le jeu. C'est question sur question au début.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No
Après, ça
offense.
bouge. Mais
I was
au
pushing
début,
too
c'est question sur question.
I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what
Comme ça
happened.
qu'il y a du
You were an
level.
officer, weren't you?
Ça monte le level
Then I
et ça
doubt we
débloque
fought the same war, sir.
les quêtes
No
et les
offense.
machins. Faut parler à tout le monde. C'est un peu chiant. C'est vite
How
fait.
close are you to Miss Hawcroft?
Ouais, c'est
Are you
gueule.
aware that she
Je
thinks
tue,
she's a
je serais pas
vampire?
content.
Wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she
Je vais
treats
pas
me
le tuer
like
parce que
something tasty.
je vais tuer que les maîtres,
A normal person.
que ceux qui ont
Aren't you
les armes
afraid?
légendaires.
She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
Et le
She's
temple, je
quite
vais faire le
harmless,
temple
I can assure you. Her head's
tranquillement.
broken inside is all.
Qui est dur d'ailleurs, qui...
Her arm busted on the
J'ai essayé
outside.
50 fois, il s'ouvre pas ce temple.
She's
Donc je
still
vais recommencer.
beautiful. Living
C'est pas
proof
grave.
that there's hope for me.
Il va s'ouvrir. Oh, voilà, c'est ça que j'attendais. Hop.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed.
Faut pas trop les brusquer au
It's
début.
called the Cokadozer syndrome.
Et après, il faut leur parler gentiment et après leur mettre la pression. Et là, ça marche. Dans ce jeu. C'est comme ça. Voilà. Et là, voilà, la dernière question.
So do you let her bite you?
Voilà.
You know that's
C'est
not
tout ce qu'il a fait, ce gros.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood.
Nouvel indice, je pense.
It's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Même pas. Ah si, peut-être. Ah.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss.
Peut-être un nouvel indice qui va tomber, j'espère.
To be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain.
Allez, donne-moi un autre indice.
The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars. If you get my drift.
Non, il veut pas. Ah si. Ah.
Who is treating you?
Non, je vais
Is someone in particular looking
qui
after
s'occupe
you?
de lui.
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
Il a l'air un PLS, le machin.
Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried like that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Ouais, il a des médicaments, mais je peux pas lui donner.
No effect.
J'ai pas encore pris la compétence.
Told you.
Ouais,
It's
je
like
peux
the
pas te
flames
donner,
are
je peux
under
pas
my
te donner.
skin, burning away.
Ah ouais, le soigner, ben non, ben je peux pas. Ouais, je peux pas le soigner, quoi.
Soldier,
Bilan,
do you need
ouais, je peux
assistance?
pas.
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Ah ouais, je peux pas te soigner. Bilan sanguin en bonne santé, Robert, ça va.
How is your stay with us, Mr.
Oh,
Elwood?
it's bliss.
Des choses à me
I
dire.
just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars. If you get my drift.
Oui, mais le charmer, mais ça va me servir à quoi? Ah si, je peux le charmer alors. Ah ouais, si, peut-être il a une arme. Il doit avoir une arme. Ah si, peut-être. Il faut l'amener où là? Oh, faut l'amener là-bas, ok. Il doit avoir une arme alors. Une arme légendaire, on va voir. D'accord. Il doit avoir une arme. Éteindre. Ah, ça se trouve, il a une arme ou quelque chose. Hein.
So this is how it ends.
Ainsi que fini, adieu la vie.
Farewell, my
Tu as bien
life,
joué de
you've
moi.
played me good.
Il a quoi? Croix de tome. Traitement pour les malades de tête. C'est tout? Oh. Il a rien, quoi. Il m'a rien donné, quoi. Vous pouvez pas me donner une arme légendaire? Non. Je l'ai tué pour rien. Oh, je sais pas, peut-être que je l'ai tué pour rien, du pauvre. Non, non, je pense pas. Je pense pas. Ok. Elle est où là? Ah, voilà. Putain, mais... Ah oui, j'ai pas mes pouvoirs. Merde. Ah oui, voilà, c'est eux. Ah oui, c'est lui. Ah oui, c'est lui, je dois rencontrer. J'avais oublié. Ah oui. Là, on a les bottes. C'est lui, je dois rencontrer. Ah non, c'est pas lui. Et si, c'est lui. Il y a lui et il n'y a pas lui là-bas. Attends. Pas une autre là, normalement, je dois rencontrer. Avec la Vierge là-bas. Putain. Attends. Je vais parler à lui. Si tu veux, toi.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
Ah oui, mais il est mort ton frère.
I'm
Désolé.
Blight, sir.
Je vais le tuer. Je vais le
I've
tuer,
lost
ça
my
va.
mate. Can't
J'ai
find
perdu
him
mon
anywhere.
ami, ouais, mais ton ami, ah oui, ton ami il est mort.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but we had a disagreement.
Il a pas survécu.
And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching
for?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water.
Je vais rien pouvoir pour toi, mon petit.
Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them all.
Il est mort. Ah. Ah, yeah. Ah, il m'a déjà donné un indice. Vas-y. Ah oui,
tell me about your friend.
His name is Oswald Thatcher.
Je vais aller chercher, mais
We
je crois
survived
qu'il est
the
mort.
war together. Oswald is nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
What can you tell me about him?
I'm Oswald's best friend.
Ouais, allez, dépêche-toi.
We served in the same regiment, sir. Taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
Ah. Oh, on va te charmer toi aussi, non? Je peux pas. Je peux pas te charmer? Attends.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital.
Ouais, mais j'ai
I think he went to the sewers on purpose.
les égouts, ah oui.
So I couldn't go after him.
Vas-y, donne-moi ta quête. C'est pas une nouvelle quête.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you,
Ah
Dr.
oui,
Reed.
merci. Voilà. Voilà, trouver le portefeuille. Attends.
Have you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir. I need more...
All right.
Je peux pas le charmer, lui. Je peux pas le charmer.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything...
Thank you, Doctor.
Et... Oh... C'est bizarre. Bon. Bah... C'est quoi ce point, là? Événement, citoyen en danger. Citoyen en danger. Ah, lui il est en danger. Oh là, oh, je vais aller le voir direct. Il est en danger, mon poteau. Ah ouais. Oh putain, ah ouais, ça allait pas ça. Je l'ai pourtant. Hein? Attends. 90. Ah non. Vitesse d'attaque. Ok. Dégâts. Ok. Mais dégâts si, 99 des dégâts. Putain, le machin, je le prends, ça fait rien. C'est ça? Attends, il est là-bas. Un jour. 65 de dégâts, et ça, elle fait 100. On va essayer la hache. La hache. Normalement, la hache, ça devrait faire mal. Oh. C'est ma gueule, quoi. Allez, ça rentre, je sais pas encore. Ah oui, j'ai encore l'eau. Ouais, c'est bon.
Steady, boys! One of them here!
Dessus, défonce-le quoi, c'est eux qui vont me défoncer, mais c'est n'importe quoi. Mais c'est n'importe quoi ça. On fait quoi le machin? C'est pas possible. Les mecs de niveau quoi, ils sont niveau quoi? J'ai un niveau 6 quand même. Niveau 6 ça doit aller, merde. Tu joues dans un jeu, je peux pas jouer. On me fait défoncer, c'est pas normal. Ah mais oui. Ah oui d'accord, c'est vrai. Je crois que j'ai pas mis le mode. J'ai mis le mode machin. Hardcore. J'ai mis le mode normal, mais ils abusent alors. Parce que là, si je peux pas faire mes trucs, quoi, c'est gonflant. Autant que je le fasse en normal, quoi. Attends, c'est pour ça que je voulais faire 2 trophées. Niveau 6, attends, niveau 6, ça va, je vois les... Ah, ça me le fait, ça. Niveau 6. Je veux dire. Je suis au niveau combien pour faire le machin? Niveau 40. Incroyable. De mourir. Ah, lui, il était en PLS, il disait. Rien du tout. Parce qu'il va y en avoir d'autres, ils vont m'inscrire encore. Pas, je sais que c'est là. Vas-y, mais c'est pas possible comme il est faible. Ils viennent jusqu'à là ou quoi? Et repart. Il est trop faible mon bonhomme, il est presque mort. Il a une tache de sang, il est mort. C'est n'importe quoi. Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive? C'est vraiment des bâtards. Attends. Ouais, puis il y en a un autre. Ouais. viens. À l'hôpital, viens. Il arrive un peu. Je suis... Vas-y, viens. Putain. Je suis presque mort. Je suis presque mort. Pourquoi ça... Oh, vas-y, là, ça m'énerve. Dessus, je défonce à 2-2, là. Et là, non. Putain, c'est pas normal, ça. Ok. On continue les quêtes, hein. Si ce n'est pas me tuer, c'est pas normal. Il est pas assez fort, le mec. Il est pas assez fort, mon poteau. Se fait tuer. Dommage. Dommage, je peux pas aller là où je veux directement. C'est dommage. Je peux aller là-bas, là-bas. Non. Faut le level pour voilà, passer. Donc il faut rusher le jeu. Ouais, un petit peu. Je peux pas trop en fait. Ouais, il faut le monter quoi. Il faut monter le personnage. Ouais. La morgue, machin. Ouh. Ah, la morgue c'est en face. Ok, donc c'est là. Ok. On continue. Ok.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Mais il meurt pas le machin. Il meurt pas.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Tu vas te calmer, Pichou. Ça m'énerve là. Oh, vas-y. Calme. Comme ça m'énerve, elle va mourir comme ça.
It's locked, all right.
Ah bon. En plus, elle est verrouillée. Ok.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.